So on Tuesday, Ugandan lawmakers approved some of the world's harshest anti-gay laws, making some crimes punishable by death and imposing up to 20 years in prison for people identifying as LGBTQ plus. The new legislation constitutes a further crackdown on LGBTQ plus people in the country where same-sex relations were already illegal, punishable by life imprisonment. It targets an array of activities and includes a ban of promoting and abetting homosexuality, as well as a conspiracy to engage in homosexuality. Now, there's a lot of serious things to be able to speak about. The conspiracy to engage in homosexuality is the obvious low hanging fruit of banter there, and we will skip over that as the professionals that we are, and just jump right into how incestuous this is. You know, Miles, you've challenged me on this show many a times. I think some of our biggest arguments as friends, um, as best friends that have known each other for a long time, is you've always said to me, Zwe, you never stand on anything, bro. You said like you're too understanding, and you always look for the middle ground, and you never stand on anything. And these last couple of shows, I've really been trying to put my foot down and really stand on what I believe in. Right? This is nonsense.
Yeah, word. This is definitely nonsense. But as your brother, I would say, I don't think that you don't stand on anything. In fact,
You
I
said you
think
said it like that. You said it like that.
I don't think I said it like
You
that.
said
I
it
would.
just like you said it just like that. It hurt my feelings actually.
Well, if I said that, my brother, I was wrong because the work that you do does speak for itself. I just wish you would speak with it and own it more from the perspective of what you do believe in, what you do stand for. I don't think I have no there's no doubt in my mind that you stand for a lot of things that I also stand for. I just want you to say it, brother. So to hear you say that this is nonsense, yeah, yeah. And I think that's important for us to say as black men. I think that's important for us to say in solidarity with anybody this bill might affect as straight men, as cis men, right? So yeah, this is nonsense. And what this comes back to me, right? I love myself. I didn't always love myself, right? But that's an important part of my growth, an important part of my mental health. And I think of how hard would it be? How hard is it to love yourself when everybody around you, including the government, right, is putting even laws in place to say that who you are is not okay. In fact, who you are is punishable, right? How do you learn to love yourself in that space, and what does that do to people? So my heart breaks watching this and imagining what it would feel like, right? The best to the
Yeah.
best of my ability. Yeah.
Man, what I question is just like, what would make grown men and women put on their clothes, put on a suit, have that suit ironed, go into an office building with the intention of being hateful, like and being so enraged by it, right? And it really does become slightly, I don't want to say it's an African thing, and I don't want to say it's a black thing only, right? Because that's not true at all. There's many countries that have very, very stringent anti-gay laws. We're talking Afghanistan, we're talking Algeria, we're talking Burundi, Cameroon, Chad, Dominica, Egypt, Eritrea. I love these are African, but still,
Wait. The United States has introduced over the past year and a half over 300 bills and that are anti-LGBTQ legislation. So it is not just an Africa thing.
bro, what's happening though? Like for real, like Zwe and Miles the Potters aside, as two dudes, as two niggas, what the hell?
I mean,
What's this actually about?
I think a big part of it is that people, the concern for what other people are doing is a big part that I don't understand, right? Like, never in the history of my life has what somebody else does sexually that's not me or any of my sexual partners affected my life, right? Like,
You, dude, my the thing that makes me mad about all of this, right, is that a lot of times when we speak about anti-gay, we're talking about a very particular type of gay.
Say more.
We're talking about a very particular type of gay. It's usually male homosexuality, right? That's usually what it is. Looks like I lost my brother. Yo, producer, how we doing? How we sounding? How we coming through? Give me a thumbs up there. Are you there? What? You see, we start talking. We start talking that talk, and they kick us off.
Yo, it ain't never went down like that. It ain't never went down. All right.
That's the worst. That's the first time that's happened. That's the first. They onto us. They onto
Yo,
us.
nah. As you were saying, my G. As you were saying.
Pardon that interruption, man. That's exactly. Mouse has low shedding.
Yep. They realized that yes, this is an African household.
Oh, that is absolutely hilarious, man. I was just saying, man, I think the image when people think about gay is a very particular type of gay. I think it's male homosexuality usually, or any female homosexuality that resembles gay. You know, that would be your I don't know what the technical term would be for that, but it is very male phobic in the way it is, and that's just that's just the truth of it, right? When we think of gay, that's what we're thinking of, and that's the image that comes to our mind. So that's the part of it that is very frustrating for me to understand, is why is it that we care so much? What makes us so incensed by that? I don't understand the hate is what I don't get. Like, I genuinely struggle to comprehend the hate.
I'm a grasp at a straw, right? Because I don't think I what during this time. Moving on, because I really don't understand the hate either. But what I will say is that I think we have a very narrow definition of what masculinity is and what it means to be a man, right? I don't think we have much outside of the patriarchal things that we've been taught, right? A man protects and provides, right? Often through force, and is a leader, and all of these things that it doesn't show emotion, right? Doesn't cry. And I think once we start to peel back those layers, or when people say there's an entirely different way of being a man that's valid, people push back at that because they go, y'all are taking away the things that I think make me a man. And in doing so, you're stripping me of my masculinity and my people of our masculinity. When in fact, what's needed maybe is a redefinition of masculinity. Right? Because like, yo, real talk, what makes you a man? You know what I'm saying? Like you, Zway. Like what do you consider as things that make you a man?
My definition of a man is very simple. I think a man is measured by his ability to be able to protect specifically the women around him, to protect and make comfortable the women around him. That's my definition of a man. What is your ability to be able to make the people, specifically the women around you, comfortable? Full stop.
I think that's a rare definition, right?
But my definition comes from the fact that I come from a country where the killing of women is something that happens way too often. The beating of women happens way too often. So the most important elements of a man to me that I try to present myself with is being able to ensure that the women around me are protected and feel safe.
Mm. Oh, we got some questions. We got some questions coming in,
What
yo.
about the kids?
What about
And
yeah.
but that's, you know, I said the people, specifically the women, and the specific element of the women for me just comes from a place where I've had to be exposed to the fact that women are very, very uncomfortable and feel very unsafe most of the time where I'm from. That's that's where it comes from, right?
Brother, I will tell you that I appreciate the way that you serve, and provide for, look out for, and try and protect all the people in your life, right? But I think, not but, and I think we have to start thinking about the expectations we put on not even fully formed people yet, right? From the time a person is born, right? They're assigned a gender. And then that assignment is paired with these expectations, right? And it's only by meeting those expectations can you be a proper man or a proper woman. And I think we have to start eliminating those expectations and allowing each other to define ourselves in other ways, right? Like if I look at anybody, I should be able to see their ability to protect, right? Not just a man, right? That's big, that's got broad shoulders, right? That's got big arms, right? I should be able to look at a woman and recognize the fact that I'm here fighting in these movements, right? The fact that I have the ability to organize and collaborate with community towards justice. That movement was built, supported, funded, protected by women, right? So women
That's a
have a role
fact.
in protection too, right? Women have a role in providing too, right? Shout out
Mm.
all the single moms. Let that breathe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think we have to. I think it's beautiful when anybody sees that responsibility in themselves, and it's beautiful when anybody sees that thing about themselves, whether it's a physical attribute or whether it's something that's up here in their brain that they can use to protect and provide. But I think we have to remove that expectation, because then you have men that can't deal when their partner makes more than them, right? You have men that can't deal when a physical altercation happens and they're unable to protect, right? Whether they're in that space there or not, present or not, something happens, they're unable to protect their family and their whole identity is shattered, right? It has us clinging to these things that we think define us, and we don't, and we're lost without them. And I think if we can move into a space where we start to see people as people and value people as people for the skill set that they have, that's not tied to any part of their biology, but just that they have, then we start to move into a space where I don't care what you do sexually, man or woman. Are you respectful? Do you provide? Do you serve? Do you contribute to community? Cool. You good.
I'm gonna say something too that I think has to be said, especially when we look at the type of people that are pushing these types of laws, especially in Africa. Those are the same types of people that are going to scream about colonial oppression. Those are the same people that are going to scream about the fact of what the white man is doing to be able to oppress them and their opportunities. Those are the same people that are pushing those laws, and same people that are pushing those narratives are the ones that are highlighting past colonial oppressions are the same ones that are passing these laws through. Look at the demographic of the people that are in there. Those are the people that say those things. So I think it's hypocritical. I think it's ignorant. I think it's a very antiquated way of being able to think. More importantly, I think it's going to limit their financial ability to be able to produce as a country. So if you care anything about the prosperity of your country, I don't think any hate of that type of sort has room. And that's the way that I see it. That's the way I believe it. I think it's nonsense. Miles, I think one of the most important things about the show is the fact that we get access to our professional careers, and a lot of it is directed in helping people and sharing information. As a person who is an abolitionist and an activist and a community organizer, what are you saying to the young people in Uganda right now who are looking at changing what it is that they look, changing something about these laws?
First, I would say you are enough as you are. You know, you don't have to have everything figured out. You don't have to attach labels or define who you are as a person, your identity, your sexuality. Who you are is enough, right? So I would start there, because I think when something like this happens, this is an act of hate. This is a formalized and structural act of hate. The only response to that can be love, right? So I'm starting with love there, right?
That's the Malcolm in you. No, that's the Dr. King in you. Wait for the Malcolm. It's coming.
You know it's coming, right? Organize fiercely, right? If there was ever a
What does that
moment,
mean?
if there was ever a moment where you thought, we'll get there, you know, the funny you said that, right? Martin has a quote: the moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards justice. We gotta bend it toward justice. You feel me? So that's ironically the Malcolm part. That if there was ever a doubt whether you were gonna have to fight for your respect, for your dignity, for the society that we want to live in, that doubt should be removed now. It's going to be a fight. So take care of yourself, find a way to love yourself in these circumstances, and then lock arms for this fight, because that's what this is. They're making us fight for our dignity. You know what I'm saying? So let's get it.
Blood alone turns the wheels of history. Produced